This is the first step along your path to a gateway beyond which is discovery, your own discovery of reality, of truth, of who and what you are.
Is it possible to have an out-of-body experience? Is it possible to read someone's mind? Is it possible that the very nature of the reality you live in every day is an illusion? Well, the CIA wanted answers to these questions, so they studied them. And according to them, the answer to all three of these questions is yes. And now that the CIA has declassified these documents, there is literally an in-depth, step-by-step process on how to escape the confines of your perception and leave behind that which you call reality. So without further ado, here is the Gateway Project. The 37-page document and 11 tapes were declassified in 2003. A CIA-hired scientist and mystic, Itzhak Bentov, was tasked to assess the Gateway experience process as a part of the CIA's wider investigation into whether concepts of mind control and hypnosis could be used in espionage efforts of the Cold War. So the CIA was like, oh wow, we found the secrets of the universe, but how do we weaponize this against our enemies? But before we dive into how you can perform these mystical acts, first we must explain the very nature of the universe according to the CIA. I know that may sound like a lot, but let me break it down for you. To set the stage, we need to invoke the three concepts of quantum mechanics, theoretical physics, and consciousness. This will create a mental framework of the world we live in. These concepts will help you bridge the gap from the physical to the spiritual. In doing this, they wanted to demystify the process by studying the phenomena in a scientific manner and remove the stigma of its occult connotations. The paper starts by claiming that the process uses basic techniques of hypnosis, transcendental meditation, and biofeedback to achieve supernatural realities. Now that we have briefly profiled the techniques for altering or expanding consciousness, we may proceed to explain to you what those techniques actually entail.
Jiu-jitsu. I'm going to learn jiu-jitsu.
Yep. No better way to alter your reality by enjoying a delicious 40 ounces malt liquor. Gotta say malt liquor on the bottle. That's when you know you're drinking malt liquor. When it says it on the bottle.
The Gateway experience is a training system to give you enhanced focus, coherence, and strength in your brainwave frequency. You then gain access to various levels of intuitive knowledge that the universe offers. What is unique about Gateway and its hemisync technique is that it syncs both hemispheres of your brain to create one unified energetic organ. The result of which is an altered consciousness, which has expanded both beyond the physical sphere and beyond the restrictions of both time and space. Accessing such a state for a long period of time was proven to be extremely difficult, but what was once a rare phenomenon is now easily accessible to anyone, including you. All you have to do is learn how to train and focus your brainwave energy. The human mind in its natural state acts very similar to a lamp. This mental state expends energy in a very chaotic way. Heat and light are being diffused over a wide area. This is an inefficient use of energy, as it lacks both depth and focus. However, the human mind, under the discipline of hemisync, acts more like a laser beam, producing one disciplined stream of light, the energy of which is so concentrated and powerful, the document compares it to having the same qualities of the surface of the sun. This focusing of energy is like the yogic concept of one-pointedness, intense focus and mental stillness, a state without mental wandering or distraction.
If one keeps his mind, his energies and his consciousness organized in one direction for a certain period of time, everything could be explored. by human consciousness.
The gateway process states that once this point is achieved, the mind has the opportunity to accelerate to higher and higher levels. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. Thus, you must be pointed to a higher frequency if you wish to achieve a higher vibratory state. That which you resonate with, you attract, and more importantly, become. This process is referred to as synchronization. The gateway tapes open the door and allow you to synchronize with rare and higher frequencies of the universe. These are not usually available to you in a normal state.
Now think how nice it would be, how nice to float out and away. How nice that would be, how pleasant, how calm, how serene. Now detached easily, let yourself float out slowly, up and away, calm and pleasant and serene, floating upward.
The information you receive in this state is much like a dream. Your mind will interpret the meaning it receives, usually in the form of symbols, flashes of holistic intuition, or even in the form of scenarios involving both visual and oral perception. However, this is just a sample of the extrasensory perception available to you once you master this process.
Create now in your mind, or just simply think about it, a personal energy conversion box. Visualize or simply think of a large, strong box with a heavy lid. A box so strong that it can contain and hold anything you put into it. Think of such a box now. Now raise the heavy lid of your energy conversion box and place in the box for the moment all of your physical matter, worries, anxieties, and concerns. You will not need them during this exercise, and they will simply get in the way.
Before you learn how to access these dimensions, you must learn the holographic nature of the universe. The universe is composed of interacting energy fields, some at rest and some in motion. It is, in and of itself, one gigantic hologram of unbelievable complexity, of which you are a smaller local hologram. And we are all interconnected, like nodes in one giant network, which we call reality. The collective consciousness of mankind acts as a kind of driving force for the reality which we live in.
On the very highest level, which is the high spiritual level, we are basically overlapping completely. Everybody is overlapping everybody else. In other words, everything and everyone is everywhere. In other words, we've become omnipresent. This is a state of highly spiritual perfected beings, or gods you may call them.
The program explains how we can attune ourselves and merge with the larger hologram, saying, the human mind is also a hologram, which attunes itself to the universal hologram by medium of energy exchange. So there is one large flow of consciousness which we call the universal hologram. In that, every living being emits an energy field which makes up the collective consciousness within the universal hologram. Then there is you, a tiny node in this larger network, creating your own personal hologram, a hologram made up of your energetic output. Holy shit, that is wild. But does that mean that we are merely hallucinating that which we call reality? And are we collectively manifesting the entire world that we live in, whether unconsciously or consciously? Well, according to the CIA, the answer is yes. Kinda. Because what even is an illusion, if this were true? And more importantly, what is reality? At this point, you might be saying, well, I know that I'm real. I know what I see, smell, touch, and taste. But at the end of the day, all those are simply just sensory inputs in your bodily system. They are just signals being sent to your brain. The document goes on to say that contrary to what everyone knows is so, it may not be the brain that produces consciousness, but rather consciousness that creates the appearance of a brain. So consequently, it is the quieting of the senses and the relaxation of the brain that will allow you to experience these otherworldly realities. But to go out of body, the combination of an internally quiet state, a raising of frequency, and a syncing of both hemispheres is necessary. In doing this, you have set the stage for the out-of-body experience, and thus, the gateway is open. Matter and energy need to be decoupled as concepts in your mind. To comprehend the gateway process, you must understand that the difference between energy and matter is a false perception. Science now knows that both the electrons which spin in the energy field located around the nucleus of an atom and...
Yep. Step number 1. Run down to the nearest antique shop. Get you an elephant. Make sure the trunk is pointing up. Get you a coin jar. Now you don't want to put the quarters in here. No quarters. Just pennies, nickels, and dimes. Put your coin jar underneath the elephant with the trunk up. Yeah. Follow those steps. You'll thank me later. Swear we're there.
You work hard, and you play by the rules.
Live TV. This will blow your mind right here. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Robert Allen Monroe, originally from Wabash, Indiana, gained recognition as a radio broadcasting executive.
Wabash, Indiana. Good God. Good God. Man, look, the Honeywell Center. The Honeywell Center.
Robert Allen Monroe, originally from Wabash, Indiana, gained recognition as a radio broadcasting executive before pioneering research in altered states of consciousness and establishing the Monroe Institute. His influential 1971 work, Journeys Out of the Body, is renowned for introducing the phrase out-of-body experience into popular discourse. In 1958, at the age of 43, Robert Monroe experienced a series of strange occurrences. It began with a powerful vibrating sensation deep inside his chest, becoming so overwhelming that he had to lie down. As he did, the ordinarily logical businessman discovered himself floating outside his body. Believing he had died, panic set in, but his intense fear quickly snapped him back into his physical form. Soon after, he underwent more episodes where he found himself effortlessly drifting around the room. After experiencing several inexplicable events, Monroe consulted numerous doctors and psychologists, all of whom confirmed he was in excellent health. Comforted by their assessments, the telecommunications executive chose to refine this newfound ability. He soon left his stable corporate job to fully immerse himself in studying consciousness. Over the next 3 decades, Monroe intensely researched out-of-body experiences, aiming to scientifically validate the existence of alternate realities. To make what he termed cosmic travel more accessible, he developed a technology known as hemispheric synchronization, or hemisync. This innovative system uses audio patterns with binaural beats to synchronize the brain's left and right hemispheres. Independent clinical neurologists conducted thorough tests on participants using this experimental technique and were astonished by the clear changes visible on every EEG scan. The brain's hemispheres showed synchronized activity, matching in amplitude and frequency. Monroe's contributions significantly advanced the understanding and practical engagement with altered states of consciousness. The US government keenly observed the pioneering work of astral explorer Robert Monroe. In 1978, representatives from the Central Intelligence Agency approached him, with high-ranking officials inviting him to participate in a top-secret military initiative. The project aimed to use Monroe's techniques for expanding consciousness to enable soldiers to engage in deep remote viewing sessions.
Yep, it all started at Wabatucky, Indiana. Yep. The first city with electricity. Wabash, Indiana. Fun fact for you. Time traveling is real. And then do it while you're completely slizzard drinking malt liquor with the label out. No, you fucking phone dwarf. You go fuck yourself, Fat Reggie. Man, liquor. Where we're heading, there are no roads, dog. There are no roads. I'm already flying. See the USA, your Chevrolet. Man, liquor.